Now, it's no secret that NEXA Mortgage has not only become the largest mortgage brokerage in the entire country, but also is the fastest growing mortgage brokerage in the entire country, reaching just 2,200 mortgage loan originators just a few months ago, right? So I know what you're thinking. You've got to be wondering why originators leaving the jobs, the companies that they've known and loved for years, and joining NEXA Mortgage on a daily basis. So what we're going to do is expose that all for you today. And guess what? You're going to want to take a cold, hard look at NEXA Mortgage too and see if it's a good fit for you. And let's get after it right now. Hey, this is Paul Dunn here with NEXA Mortgage, and if this is your first time at the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about work and earning and growing a business, or quite frankly, anything NEXA Mortgage, then go ahead and hit that little subscribe button, tap that little bell, and you'll be among the first to be notified anytime I drop a new video. And if you're a loan originator and you want to know what our group over here at NEXA is doing differently than other groups at NEXA to help you grow not only your business, but grow your revenue share and your legacy, then go ahead and hit me up with a phone call, text message, or DM, or even use that little link below and set up a Calendly meeting, a one-on-one, and I'll be more than happy to share with you everything I know about growing at NEXA Mortgage. Now, I talk with originators both inside the company and outside the company every single day, and one of the biggest questions that comes up is, why should I think about moving my license over there to NEXA Mortgage? So what I'm going to do today is share with you a list that I've compiled after talking with a bunch of originators over here at NEXA, why they moved their license over here to NEXA and why you may want to make that move as well. So let's dig on in. Okay, so the number one thing that originators tell me that they love about NEXA Mortgage is, well, it's actually two things. It's the vast amount of programs. You see, we've got over 200 wholesale and niche lenders who compete for our business, and the fantastic rates that we get from those wholesale lenders. You see, it's not unusual for me to get a call from an originator at a different company saying, hey, Paul, I got this deal, it's a VA deal, or hey, Paul, I got this, it's a non-QM, or hey, Paul, I got this DSCR, and asking me, hey, Paul, can you beat this rate this other guy's getting shopped for? And the answer for me every single time has been, yes, I can beat that. Why don't you come join me over here at NEXA, and then you can beat that as well. And with access to all those lenders, we've got thousands of loan programs out there. And guess what? In a competitive market like this, like we're in today, you've got to have access to thousands of programs, or how else are you going to survive? And here's something that's kind of fun. I've even gotten a call from an originator at a different company said, hey, Paul, my company can't do my own loan. Can you do my loan for me? And of course, I did the loan. And something else that originators ask all the time about having all those loan programs is, how do you keep track of them all, right? And so what I always tell folks is, if you are being given a referral from a realtor or somebody else, go ahead and take that loan, take that application, get all the details, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna head on over to loan officer support. We're gonna go talk to one of the coaches who specializes in that type of a loan product, and we're going to hop on a Zoom call with that person, and they're going to help walk you through how to put that particular program together. And all of a sudden, you've got yourself a referral for a loan that you probably couldn't have done at your retail shop. And number two, you get to pick who you work with. And that's a big one. You know, coming from the retail sector years ago and working at different mortgage companies, one of the things that really stuck out to me was you get to be assigned to a loan processor. And if you didn't click with that processor, too bad. If they weren't up to your standards, too bad. So at NEXA Mortgage, it's really cool because we've got about 500 contract processors in the system. And one of the things I've learned about contract processors, 90% of the time, they are rock stars. Why are they rock stars? Because they are on commission only. They don't get paid if the loan doesn't close, right? And that's a pretty big deal. So with all those processors, those contract processors, how do you pick one for you? So what we do is we log into Loan Officer Support, we'll go to the Processor tab, and then you will be able to see a list of all those processors. You can narrow it down by your state, you can narrow it down by your specialty, and then you can also see the reviews for those processors. You can see their thumbs up, you can see their thumbs down. And even better yet, after reading some reviews and doing some due diligence and a little bit of research, you click that little Zoom button and you can do a one-on-one call with that loan processor to see if that's a good fit for you. And guess what? If you happen to pick one that's not quite up to your standards, you can move on to the next processor. You ain't stuck. And number three, if you gotta get skinny, you can get skinny, right? So let's say that you're competing with another originator for a transaction, for a deal, and they've got a lower rate or maybe lower fees or lower something, right? And you've got to drop your compensation in order to do that. Well, typically with a lender paid compensation, you can't do that. But in this case, you can switch it around. You can go borrower paid compensation, and you can meet or beat or even blow away your competition. And guess what? You don't even have to go reach out to some senior vice president who's sitting in an air-conditioned office smoking a stogie or anything like that. You can do it all on your own. The only time you do have to reach out to management is if you're going to do it for less than 1%, that is 100 basis points. That's when you need to reach out to the management, just so that they can make sure that the transaction is good, not only for the borrower, but for everybody involved. And I've lowered my compensation many times going borrower paid, and I've not only just beat the competition, but I've blown them away. And my buyers and my realtors love it. Hey, if you're liking this video, and quite frankly, what's not to like, then go ahead and hit that little like button down below. I really appreciate it. And number 4 is my personal favorite. You get to build a brokerage inside of a brokerage. So Paul, what does that mean? Well, typically, if you wanted to go out and form or start your own brokerage and build a shop, you'd have to go find the building, you'd have to deal with compliance, you have to hire management. But you've got expenses, you've got headaches. Well, at NEXA Mortgage, you can actually build your brokerage inside of NEXA Mortgage across state lines. You don't have to go get any type of buildings. You don't have to worry about compliance. Let management do that. You don't have to worry about hiring folks. All you want to do is go out and find the best loan officers that you can around the country and attract them to your team. You see, when you recruit other loan officers to your team inside of NEXA Mortgage, you're basically building a brokerage inside of a brokerage, right? Without the hassles, without the headaches, without the expenses, and without messing with compliance, right? You're building your legacy and letting NEXA do all the heavy lifting. And number 5, and this is really cool by the way, is the strong community of about 2,200 mortgage loan originators. You see, NEXA Mortgage has this internal Facebook group that a lot of folks participate in. And what happens is originators will actually go in there and they will share success stories, things that are actually working for them in the business. And what I find is really cool is you'll get other originators that chime in and say, hey, what if you tried this? Or, hey, what if you tried that? And they really grow their ideas and make some really cool things, right? And I've even seen it before where an LO might even chime in and say, hey, I did something really similar, but I put this little sneaky twist there at the end and it tripled my results. That's not unusual. I think of it as a great big brainstorming, marketing solutions kind of a group, and it's really cool. And if an LO has problems, maybe they've got a loan with issues, what they'll do is they'll go in there and they'll post information about that particular loan. And then it's not unusual to see a bunch, and I mean a bunch of other originators at NEXA jump in, provide what they believe could be viable solutions for that originator with the problem loan. And how cool is that? And number 6, everybody, and I mean everybody at NEXA Mortgage is highly approachable. So let's say that you were watching somebody on the Facebook group and maybe a high producer and you wanted to reach out to them. You can reach out to that person pretty easily, but guess what? It doesn't stop there. You can go all the way to the top. Mike and Matt actually have their Calendly link published inside of the system. So if you have a reason that you need to schedule a call with those guys, they will do it, because guess what? They're on your side as a fellow NEXA. And they not only want to do what's best for the company, but what's best for you as well. And I saved what most people think is the best for the last, and that is number 7. Every day is payday. Not only is every day payday, but every day is actually payday twice. It's 2 times. There's a morning payday and there's an afternoon payday, right? You see, NEXA Mortgage pays you kind of like a real estate agent gets paid, right? So a realtor closes a deal, they get their check, they get their wire from escrow right then and there, right? So why in the mortgage business do we have to wait 2, 3, sometimes 45, 60, or even 90 days to get paid, right? When the funds are here, why don't we just pay you? So that's what NEXA Mortgage does. So there's basically 3 things that you got to do to get paid after your loan funds. That is, number 1, verify that NEXA got the mortgage. Number 2, take 2 or 3, maybe 4 minutes, depends on how fast you go, to make sure that all the compliance information is inside of LendingPad. And number 3, tell LendingPad that your loan is closed. And that signals the payroll department that, hey, we've got the funds, it's time to pay our guy. So be on the lookout for your paycheck in your bank within 24 to 48 hours. So hopefully now you have a real good understanding of why NEXA Mortgage is not only the largest mortgage brokerage in the country, but also the fastest growing brokerage as well, and why originators are joining NEXA Mortgage every single day. And in fact, if you're thinking about making that move and want to know more about NEXA or possibly joining the team, why don't you go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text message, or even use that little link below and schedule a private one-on-one Zoom call, and we'll go over everything NEXA and see if NEXA is a good fit for you, because I've got your back if you're thinking about coming to NEXA. And we'll see you in the next video.